I wanted to record myself because I want to, because I want to, and I'm going to. Today, it's Thanksgiving week. It's the 20th. I've been unemployed for 18 days. 18 days is 2 weeks and 4 days. So this is my third week, going on my third week of unemployment. And I think I've been doing pretty great. I've been leaning into it pretty well. Whatever, I'll put it on YouTube just like this. I don't give a do whatever I want. And that's what I'm trying to really lean into, is just doing whatever I want. Yeah, I've been unemployed for like 2.5 weeks, going on third week. And the reason why I say I think I'm handling it pretty well is because growing up, I always did the right thing. I followed the rules, I did what I was supposed to do. I was responsible, all that kind of stuff. And not that I'm not responsible now. It's just being one of those gifted and talented, quote, I never wasn't gifted and talented. My school didn't really have a gifted and talented program. And like, I was a gifted child. I was bright and intelligent and everything. I understand now that I also am autistic, on the spectrum. I've learned that in my adult years, literally this year. I took being autistic and being neurodivergent. I did a lot of research, and this is what I have done all my life. I did a lot of research and looked into things and took legitimate assessments to find out if I'm autistic. I mean, I've been thinking I've been autistic for about 2 years now. First it was ADHD, and I was like, no, we're not going to start this trend of people like just grabbing onto identities essentially, but nah, I should have known better. I said all that to say, I feel lazy, and feeling lazy, or the concept of laziness is like bad, not productive, not productive, a waste, sort of those things. That's sort of the things that are conflated with laziness. So I haven't really felt lazy. I've really been, from following the Nat Ministry on Instagram to buying the book, and I need to read it again, reading Rest is Resistance. And in my work, my career is in DEI work, and that was my last job. I mean, that's what all of my jobs have been out of graduate school. And, I was doing a lot of learning about the characteristics of white supremacy. And a lot of them are like, that there's only one right way, or a dichotomy, or like either or, like binary thinking, that perfectionism is a really big thing in Western world. That's my experience. That's what I know. So that's what I talk about or talk from. But, this idea of perfectionism and more or bigger is better, quantity over quality. And so I've really just been inundated. I also bought a book like Laziness Does Not Exist. I haven't read that book yet because I haven't felt like reading. I really haven't felt like reading. And quite honestly, I have Spotify premium. And if you didn't know, this is not like an ad or sponsored or anything. Yeah, audiobooks, if you got premium, they're free. So I might listen to the book instead. That might be easier for me to do. But, just consuming a lot of this information about like learning about capitalism and, fighting the man. It feels so silly to say this if you haven't like really engaged with this kind of information or anything, but being worried about not being productive is what capitalism would want us to feel like, so that we are continuing to be producing for other people to get rich and to stay rich, and like rich beyond any of our imaginations, So I said all that to say, I think I've been doing a pretty great job in leaning into doing nothing. I don't have an alarm set. I've, if I have a doctor's appointment, I've been going to therapy and all that kind of stuff. Like, I have things to do, then I do those things. And a funny thing is, like, while I was working, I had a work from home job, and I love working from home. During that quarantine in 2020, I got a good taste of like, this is what work life could be. And that's another thing too. It's like, again, this only one way or either or binary thinking, the characteristics of white supremacy culture, makes us think that the only way to earn a legitimate and respectable living is to do it in person, is to give physical labor, is to exert all this energy. And also, I had a really, really, really great manager at my last job too. And the way that she managed me and our team and stuff, it's just all been really transformative. So I can credit all of these things to me being okay with not doing anything. Because also, regardless of fighting capitalism and colonialism, imperialism, all that shit, life is too short to be trying to do the right thing. I've only had 2 detentions in my entire life. One was in middle school and one was in high school. And the one in high school was because I didn't want to stand outside amongst the nasty ass gnats and have my allergies all up from gym class. So yeah, I'm a do-gooder. I follow the rules. I do what I'm supposed to do. I'm very responsible. I have felt a lot of guilt and shame for not doing things, for not being responsible, for whether it's financially responsible, socially responsible, any of those things. And I have never been irresponsible in any of those ways. In fact, I've overdone it. I've always been a very anxious person. I also have generalized anxiety disorder. My nerves be acting up, as the older adults will say. I've always been I would throw myself into really, really big tizzies, which I now understand as anxiety attacks. In school, school will be my reference because I feel like that's a solid, tangible thing for people to grasp onto. So say, for example, I had to do a book report and it had to be 3 to 5 paragraphs. If I went into the 6th paragraph, I'd have an anxiety attack about it because I didn't follow the rules. I didn't abide by what, the authority figure said. So that could be my neurodivergency in addition to anxiety and all that kind of stuff. But that has trickled into adulthood. Now, how I have not been able to notice or understand, there are no rules, rules don't really exist as an adult, is because my interests and my skills and talents and just where I ended up aligned with the status quo. I just fell in line. And I didn't have to be pushed into line. I was just oh, here's the line. This makes sense. I'll go into this line. Until very recently, being an adult and in the working world and understanding as somebody who when you're a child, you follow the rules and you do what authority figures tell you to do, you're rewarded or you're respected, or you're held to a certain standard. You're celebrated for that. As an adult, nobody gives a about that. In fact, when you follow the rules and you do as you're told, you're abused for it. You're exploited for it. You're manipulated for it. I don't know. I've just been learning lately that a lot of things are unnecessary. A lot of things are not required. And that's not something that I understood until this year, to be quite honest, until this year. I used to be the spelling police, the grammar police. And I wouldn't really comment on people's stuff asterisk, THEY''RE. I never did that, but I would discount someone. If there was a guy that I was texting or a friend that I was texting or something, they would put minds well instead of might as well. I'll be oh, this person's an idiot. I would just think less of them. They would be beneath me. And that's disgusting. Just all bullshit. There are so many ways that people can exist and communicate. Exist. Someone's existence is enough that they're valid. When people cause harm and are just mean and unkind and evil-spirited people, that's when we can start, not knocking them down in our social hierarchy in our heads. But because somebody says minds well instead of might as well, you know what the they mean. Being somebody who also a child of excellence, if you will. Efficiency. I value efficiency, which I think is why I'm able to when it's a lot of this is unnecessary. It's if it's unnecessary, it's inefficient. If we don't need to do it, we should not do it. Whenever it's this meeting could have been an email, inefficient, extremely inefficient. Just because it's commonplace or the status quo to have meetings at work does not mean everything needs to be a meeting. Type that into an email. Give me some bullet points and say, if you need to meet with me, then we can talk about it. Or set up office hours. Feel free to drop by at this day, at this time. This is the topic that will be on the agenda if people need to talk about it. That also gives people the option to opt out. I don't know how many meetings and trainings and all that kind of shit I've had to go to. And it's I don't need to be here. This does not apply to me. This is a waste of my time. Inefficient. The fact of not having to work is just such a wonderful thing. I don't have the mental capacity for it. I don't have the emotional capacity for it. I do not have the spiritual capacity for it. Some of my fears of finding a new job is like, what if the workplace is horrible? What if I'm not able to handle it because I'm not ready? I recognize that I have been burned out for years from working, especially working in higher education. I haven't been in higher education for about almost 2 years. A year and like 3/4. Me trying to even pinpoint the exact amount of time or exact enough roundabout time that I've been out of higher education is something I wish I could just get out of. I wish I could be okay, but like, yeah, I've been out of working in university or higher ed for about a year and a half. I wish I could say that and be comfortable with that and not try to like footnote it. It's like what I mean by a year and a half is nobody else knows. You wouldn't know unless I give you more information or unless you actually know me. And if you actually know me, you probably would give me grace. Like, yeah, a year and a half seems about right. I can also say it's been really great, or it's been surprisingly less difficult for me to just sit in doing nothing, to then be able to figure out what I want to do. Because I did really enjoy working out, mostly because I got to listen to music. But I did like enjoy, going to the gym and working out and stuff. I just never felt like it because I didn't have the will. I didn't have the motivation. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the brain capacity. And living again in a society that's fat phobic, where like if you're not working out and if you're not working on your body and if you don't have like a flat stomach and, slim waist and all that kind of stuff, you don't have a specific body type, you're failing. And 2 years ago, I want to say I had a really, 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 really shameful and guiltful, not a word, but we're going to make it a word because the rules are made up and the points don't matter. I felt really shameful and guilty. Like, look what I have done to myself. I think the most I weighed was like 205 pounds. And I was like, you failure. You failed yourself. Look at what you did to yourself. This is your fault. How dare you? Shame on you. Like, I really felt terrible. I would have like crying fits about it because I've never been what people would consider fat. I've never been what people would consider fat. I have fat on my body. You're supposed to have fat on your body. Your body needs it, especially as someone who's female. But like my stomach would just poke out a little bit, maybe a little bloated. I don't know. But I have never been like, if I stood next to someone who was fat, I would not be considered fat. I never have. And I'm just saying that matter of factly. I'm not saying that as like, I'm better than people who actually, like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just pointing out the absurdity of, if it were actually a bad thing to be fat, which it's not, I'm going to say it's not a bad thing to be fat because the fat phobia is coming back in like, yeah, it is bad to be fat. It's not bad to be fat because there are some people who are just naturally fat. I'm not even gonna get into it, but anyway, even if it were a bad thing to be fat, I was not such a thing. And I think that can also tie to like the white supremacy characteristic of perfectionism. Like, if you have not reached whatever perfectionism is, and the goalpost continuously moves back and forth. It moves back and forth. We now are seeing people talk about being heroin thin and heroin chic. You got all these celebrities doing Ozempic and getting their buccal fat removed and all kinds of stuff. It used to be BBW. People wanted to be as thick and shapely as possible, getting all these BBLs and everything. And again, that's not a problem to want to alter your body safely, with the correct doctors. Because the amount of botch that I watch, I remember one woman, she got her tummy, whatever plastic surgery she got, it was done by her gynecologist. No. So yeah, that's why she ended up on botch. But like, yeah, so I used to have a lot of guilt and shame about having enjoyed food that made me gain weight. Like, how terrible is that? Like, I hated myself. I was very disappointed and mad with myself because I ate pastries that made me gain weight. I moved in with my boyfriend, or we moved in together. Like, I didn't move in with him. He didn't move. We had whatever. We moved in together. And they always say when you in a relationship, you get that relationship weight, and I definitely gained it. And so, even after getting out of grad school or getting out of college, like going through college, I gained more weight because I was less active, especially in grad school. I was a dance minor because in high school I was a dance major, dancing 5 days a week, an hour and a half a day at the least. So I was very active. Also a cheerleader in high school. I also, I was just active, right? You're active when you're a child. I was getting less and I'm not active at all. Not active at all. But I say all that to say that I want to work out again, and not because I want to lose weight or anything. I would like to be stronger. I would like to be stronger. I'd like to have more stamina and endurance. I'd like to not be huffing and puffing when I walk up the stairs. Just because, but I enjoy lifting weights. I really enjoyed weightlifting. And I don't want like barbells. I like dumbbells, the separates. But I really like it. And I think I'd also really enjoy movement. I have a bunch of playlists of different workouts, like whether it's a full actual ballet bar. Oh, like dance. Like there's this one YouTube channel, I want to say it's two black women. I don't know if they're related or if they're just friends or whatever, but these two black women, they do like bandstand, majorette, band front, like dance routines. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I want to do that. I love dancing. I love performing so much. I was talking to my boyfriend about, like, I really love singing. I really do. I grew up with a mother who was very musical, played the piano, played the violin, played the flute, she played a bunch of instruments growing up, and played the piano mostly as an adult. She was trying to teach me how to play the violin. My perfectionist would have an anxiety attack and breakdown or whatever because I couldn't pick it up or whatever. I still do have my violin, and I would like to still learn. And I think I still can do that. Another thing about like society is like you got a limited amount of time to do things. If I turn 60 years old and I want to try gymnastics, I should feel liberated and encouraged to do that. Oftentimes, adults are discouraged from doing what they want to do. Our imagination, our wonder, our curiosity is diminished. It's beaten down. It's disintegrated as we're adults, and we can't. And I think that also contributes to us not being able to imagine a world where like everything is free, water's free, food's free, medical care is free. Is that the robe? Paranoia. What am I paranoid about? I'm the only one here. My boyfriend's at playing basketball. Yeah, I'm saying a lot of stuff. And this is gonna be thoughts from a raging black girl. That's what this is gonna be. Obviously, because I'm a raging black girl, and those are thoughts. Also, by the way, every time people see my name, like it's my name on Twitch and all that kind of stuff, and people see raging black girl, they're like, oh yeah. In fact, I followed, I don't remember her name, but I followed her because she was playing Splatoon 3. I look for a lot of black creators that play Splatoon 3 or play games that I like to watch or that I like to play. It feels validating. I guess that's why. But also, I'm like, I want to watch this content, but I want to watch black people play it. So I found a black girl and I, follow, the alert comes up. She's like, oh, raging black girl. And she like yells and screams and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, rage is wonderful. Rage is valid. Like, it's not a bad thing to rage. I'm also a huge Kid Cudi fan. He's, Mr. Rager, but also like raging specifically is like just to be intense. And I'm very intense. If we look at my astrological chart, it's a lot of fire. I'm an Aries sun. I'm a Leo rising. My Chiron's in Aries. My midheaven's in Aries. My Mercury and Venus are both in Aries. That's what I can remember right now. The last two planets kind of whatever. But like I have a lot of fire in my chart. That can be pretty intense. When I think about raging, a raging fire, like the Mulan song. Right? Or is it coursing fire? Rage, whatever. Fire can rage. Fire is raging. And rage is not necessarily a bad thing. Anger, and also like people associate rage with anger. Sure, yeah, but it's expressive. Speaking of video games, there was that. I mean, we saw Cleo Thomas was on that girl's podcast, and it was like months ago. At least I think it was months ago. Time is such a fake thing. When she was like, yeah, a man who plays video games, if she's talking about, but anyway, people talk about adults who play video games are losers. It's like, no, adults who play video games are having fun. They're doing stuff that they like to do. Like, and there's nothing wrong with this. Everybody doesn't want to go to the lounge. Everybody don't want to go to the club. Everybody don't want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars traveling around the world. I hate traveling. I enjoy experiences, and I love the beach. I love tropical weather, but I hate the plane. I hate it so much. And it's not even maybe because I feel like it's inefficient. Because it's just so much time. Like, I feel like I hate it. It just takes so long. I have to sit there for so long. I'm not afraid of planes. I've never had a fear of going onto a plane and it crashing. I always think like, if this plane crashes, it might be my last day on earth. And you know what? That might just be it. And it's just a very like general statement, very neutral thought in my head. I hate sitting on the plane. I hate traveling long distances. 2-hour drive max is fine. I had me and my boyfriend went to Cutter's Clubhouse in Brooklyn. Would have took about maybe 2.5-3 hours with traffic. And I was on the verge of a panic attack the entire drive. Also because having such bad anxiety to the point where I was having anxiety and panic attacks like several times a week. Like anticipating something is always just like panic, something's going on. But yeah, man, there's no rules to this shit. Of course, there is right and wrong in terms of like, don't harm people. But in terms of like how you do relationships, it's so frustrating to watch so many people be like, I just saw today on Twitter, this girl was like, she posted on whatever social media platform about she don't want to take her husband's last name when she gets married. I've already talked to my boyfriend. I was like, I don't want to change my last name. And it's not even about like a feminist point or powerful point. One, I don't feel like doing that paperwork. Nope, that's not number one. That's number two. Number one, my name is Ebony Jackson. I'm not changing that. Are you kidding me? Ebony Jackson? That's a black name. And I want to maintain my black name. Yes, we can talk about how my last name is probably derived from a slave owner or something like that. But like in today's day and age, Ebony Jackson, black name. I'm not changing my last name. And he was totally cool. He was like, yeah, whatever. That's fine with me. He's not my owner. But two, who feels like doing more work? Go down to the courthouse. You got to get the marriage license, and then you got to go do the other paperwork, change your name. And I don't know what the law is here, but in different states, you sometimes got to publish it in the newspaper. That's more money you got to put out when you could just not. Because if we get married and we have a marriage license, that's the thing that matters. Not that my last name changes or not. I'm always going to be Ebony Jackson. Are you kidding me? Please. But I thought she posted that, and she was talking about it because she was posting what the responses were. And of course, a bunch of men were talking about it. One of them was like, we sacrificed our lives and you can't change your name. I'm like, what are you sacrificing? What are you sacrificing? What is the sacrifice? The money to pay for the name change? Please. You don't have to do that. You don't have to. Every time I utter that sentence, I think about people saying Drake being in a strip club talking to strippers like, you don't have to do this. I mean, that guy, but you don't have to. You really don't. Free yourself. And that's much easier said than done because our minds and our lives have literally been structured and ruled by all these arbitrary, not real rules. But like, it's not the law that you have to change your name when you get married, regardless of gender. You don't have to. There's no one way to do anything. There's many ways to do one thing. A woman will ask her husband, boyfriend, fiance, a partner who is a man, typically cisgender man, to put the food away. And he'll just put the crock pot in the fridge. And a lot of people are side with the woman about like take out of the crock pot and put it in the container. Yeah, sure, I can agree with that. Especially if you're planning on using the crock pot again very recently or very soon or in the near future. But I have learned to like let go of a lot of that stuff. Like it's put away. I don't feel like doing it. It's done. As long as it's done. But I don't use a crock pot. I don't know the mechanics of a crock pot. If it's not a good idea to put a crock pot in the fridge because it'll mess up the crock pot or something like that. Yeah, for sure. But in terms of the storage, like it's put away, man. It's put away. Just put the now. My boyfriend does most of the cooking. That's another thing. He does the cooking. He can do the storage. If he asks me to put the stuff away, I'll put it away, whatever. And I'll do it my way. But if I'm not doing it, I'm not going to say nothing. Unless I'm like, hey, babe, I think it'd be better to do it this way because it'll save this or it won't ruin whatever the is, right? Doing stuff for the sake of like, the thing I was about to say, parents, especially parents, they're like, I don't put the laundry away. I don't fold that shit. Or I don't fold it. We just put it in the power. We just throw it in a drawer. Because it's like, why? Who said we had to do that? If you don't feel like doing it, don't do it. Don't be shamed into doing that. And then you feel guilty. You feel shameful for not doing the things that everyone else is doing. Like, where's that? Andre 3000 just dropped an album of playing the flute of Outkast. Do whatever you want. Do what works for you. Like, I have not been I haven't been wearing nothing on my head to sleep for a while. Mostly because my mental health was just so horrible. Like, getting up and brushing my teeth was a lot for me. Getting up and showering, it was a lot for me. And it wasn't even really, it could have been depression, but I was just very scared to leave my bed. Like, my anxiety had me, I don't want to say I had agoraphobia. I don't want to diagnose myself with anything else. But I was just like, it wasn't even about being scared to leave. It was just not having access to what, like, my safe space where I was able to retreat and recuperate and all that kind of stuff. So, what was I saying? I'm washing my face. I don't remember. Oh yeah. I don't wear a do-rag on my head. My edges, I want to say this is from like box braids, having box braids for sure. And literally like box braids just pull my roots out. I pull my hair out by the root. But I just don't wear anything to bed because I don't feel like my head gets hot. I woke up sweating this morning. I don't wear my head at night. I'm really trying to lean into like, man, I mean, I'm not out here looking raggedy, but also like, so what if I was out here looking raggedy? I'm still a human. Like, I think about when maybe if somebody's eyeliner wings aren't matching, like maybe one is more here and one is more like out like this. Like, what if like, that's a mess. It's like, I get what you're doing there. You have wings on your eyes and they both look great. They might not match, but they both look great. I just want hot water to wash my face. I just want to heat up. Watching Parks and Rec again. I love Parks and Rec, The Office, Community. I love all of it. Ron Swanson, you know, he's very anti-government. And he was like, this other episode I just watched, like I sleep, so everything. He was talking to this little girl. She said she had to do a book report on like why government matters. And he's like, government doesn't matter. They, you know, take our tax dollars and do really stupid stuff with it, which, but he was saying like, oh no, it wasn't even that episode, but he's just very much on like American people should be able to do whatever the hell they want to do. If they want, it was the episode that I'm referring to. What he said was when Sweetums, which is like a corporation, a business that makes like really unhealthy food and snacks, maybe like a la McDonald's or a Lucky Charms like breakfast bar, like that's probably just chock full of sugar. But you know, he's like, if people want to clog their arteries and eat this shit, especially if they're informed about it, then they should be able to, and like die early death, they should be able to do that. And I very much believe in that. We got to stop forcing people into what we think is right, because although there are like these, you know, status quo, arbitrary rules of like how to exist and everything, which is also different regionally, even from city to city, state to state, all the kind of stuff. Well, region, whatever. You know, we all have our own little set of rules that like work for us and how we, you know, run our life and everything. We gotta stop pushing that shit on other people. People should be allowed to do whatever the hell they want to, as long as it's not harming nobody else. Yeah, if some 55-year-old person wants to cosplay, actually live out their life as Zelda, lovely, wonderful. Do it. Please do it. Life is too damn short for people to not do what they want to do, man. Anyway, yeah, I was talking to my boyfriend and I was like, yeah, I love it. I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry that it's all over the place. If you here watching it and you following what I'm saying, wonderful, great. If you're not, wonderful, great. You made that decision. You did whatever you wanted to do. Do what you want to do. Yeah, man, that's wonderful. If somebody figured out what they want to do in life, you want to cosplay Zelda? Do it. Please do it. It's really whack that people will make fun of other people for doing what they want to do. But you out here trying to live like these celebrities who ain't even really living the life that they putting out to you. Ugh. Free yourself. If you don't want it, then don't do it. I haven't used this stuff in a very long time. Because I just didn't have it. I just did not have it in me to have a routine or do anything other than wake up, try to consume something, so I could work. There's nothing even in here. It doesn't matter. I don't need this shit. I don't need it. I'm just doing this just because I feel like it. It's like, damn, just let people be, man. It's already hard enough. Everything is so expensive. It's hard enough. People out here trying to earn a living, to just be able to eat and have a home. You're making fun of people because they want to cosplay, because they want to play video games, because they want to make music. Like I was telling my boyfriend, I really like to sing. I love performing. Oh, I was also in a band in high school. I was just thinking about what else. I couldn't remember what else I was doing in high school that I was active in. I twirled the flag. Did not play an instrument. It feels great. Like even trying to do things that I want to do just for the sake that I want to do them, just to honor my own desires, honor my own, interests, feed into my curiosity, feed into my wonder, my whimsy, like, just do it because you want to, not even for like trying to stick it to the man involuntarily or unintentionally. It will stick it to the man. And I just think things are changing for people to, because it's just like, there's enough systems at play here that keep us like just this, whatever that is. There's enough in there that we don't need to do it to ourselves, man. And I'm working on it. I'm not saying I have it perfected. It will never be perfected because perfection does not exist. Although I've also heard people like, you're perfect as you are. I kind of like the concept of neutrality in this time in my life. Like, I don't want it like with my body. Although sometimes I'm really feeling the way I look. And other times I'm just like, okay, my body exists. It's there. It's a body. But I feel like coming from a place of neutrality is kind of like, not better. I think it's more manageable, keeps you maybe a little more sane. I don't know. But yeah, I'm really just trying to lean into that. Anyway, I was telling my boyfriend that I like to sing. I love singing. And I really probably should do more singing because throat chakra stuff, right? Whatever. But I really do enjoy singing. I was like, I think I want to like sing songs. I really love 90s dance music. Oh, it would be, and I'm feeling that like I would really love to like make 90s dance music that is really like uplifting and do whatever you want to do-ish kind of stuff. And I'm not looking to go tour. I don't want to be like a music artist. I do love performing and everything. Whatever. I don't know. I think I'm also like downplaying my dreams. Like everybody says, well, what did you want to be when you were younger? I think about middle school. I was like, oh, I want to be an astronomer. And I don't even know if I really want to do that or if I knew that adults and authority figures would be like, oh, that's great. We love that. Like really pleasing authority. That was a big thing for me that I'm really trying to break out of too. But I wanted to be a singer. Like I was writing my own songs or making up my own songs or whatever. Like I love singing and performing. I was one of those kids. Everybody talks about it. Making up dances with your cousins. We were making up dances at lunchtime in middle school. I would force my younger sister, which I hate saying younger sister because like we're twins that were born 3 years apart. And I'm not like not legitimately like there was no like scientific socially we're twins that were born 3 years apart. But my sister, I would force her to like be in my dance production. I would take those costumes, like we're going to dance to Britney Spears' Lucky or whatever. Like, yeah, I wanted to be a performer. And I don't know if I'm going to lean into that for sure, because I'm still trying to break the chains, chains on my, psyche and my thinking about like what I can actually do, like what is possible for me. Because I see people like Pink Panthers and Hemlock Springs who like, and Hemlock Springs like, man, I was just around. I just want to make a song. And now that like, I think she's in Europe right now touring and everything. And not that that's like the dream or anything, but it's kind of like when you allow yourself to just imagine, let your imagination do what it wants to do for like what your heart's desire is, like get into that childlike wonder and everything. Like things are so possible, like doors can open up, and I'm getting emotional thinking about it because it's just like, that's what's missing from a lot of people's lives. Adults losing their imagination and whimsy and just like not acting on that. It's really sad. It's really sad. Because like we should be able to play and dream and imagine, be silly. And I'm not saying that it's people's fault or like bad on you. I'm the last person to be like shame on you. Shame does not feel good. Shame is not productive. Shame is not helpful. But, trying to put food on the table, especially if you have a family, if you have children, trying to just wake up, get ready for work, go to work, make it through the workday, whatever that workday is, whether you work in a restaurant or you work in an office, trying to make it through, it can be very difficult to tap into that stuff. And that's the point of this whole system, is to just make us just drones, just little robots to carry out the to keep shoveling money in the 1% pockets. Like, If you're somebody that's a rebel, because my boyfriend is definitely, we're very opposite. We are very, like, we're on different ends of the spectrum in a lot of those ways. Like, if you're somebody like him who's like, man, I want to do this just in spite of, just because. There doesn't even have to be related to them. Like, just because if that's what drives you, then do it. If you're somebody who's like, man, I want to feel good and everything, like me, who's just like, I just want to be happy. I just want to exist. And I want to be whatever is in my control. Tap into your imagination, man. If you want to play with Play-Doh, if you've always been like, man, slime looks so fun. If you want to make that slime, man. If you want to do the One Punch Man workout thing, and if like that's your goal to be able to do that workout mad easy, if you want to be able to run 10 miles real easy, like do whatever the you want to do. Do it. And if it's climbing a corporate ladder, then do that too. Not an aspiration of mine. Not anymore. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. Do what makes your heart happy. Do what makes it sing. It can be difficult to figure that out because like I had started, like I feel like I'm doing pretty well with being unemployed. I think we'll call it fun employment. But things are just coming to me. I'm like, you know what? I do pay for the amenities here at this apartment complex for the workout rooms. I think there's like 2 or 3 of them. I've seen them, but I haven't gone to work out in them yet. I'm like, you know what? One of these days I'm gonna go because I ain't got shit to do. I have nothing to do, and I'm gonna go do it. Not because I want to lose weight. Not even because I want to get stronger, because I just feel like it. I'm gonna do it because I just feel like it. I might go to the store one day, get a canvas and get some paints and just paint because I want to. I am out of breath talking as much as I have been. I did not record this intending for it to be like a content, but I'm like, man, because I want to, I'm going to do it. You have a great day. Start trying to tap into your imagination, your curiosity, your whimsy, cater to your inner child, whatever you want to call it. Tap into it, man, because this world doesn't want you to. It doesn't want you to have access to it. And we're humans. We have free will. We're on this floating rock. Tap into it because it is what you have control over above everything else. Don't forget to like the video if anything I shared resonated with you, or if you just enjoyed the video. Comment below ways that you're tapping into your imagination, or just comment on anything else I said in the video. Tap the bell so that you're notified every time I post a new video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm really working on this dream of being a content creator. And when you like, comment, and subscribe, and even share, that engagement helps fulfill my dream. But yeah, thanks for watching this miscellaneous thoughts from a Raging Black Girl. Tune in for more, I guess. Have a wonderful day. Bye.